But yeah, Luke's seen it twice.
Yes.
You want to? Tyler has not at all, and this will be a completely spoiler-free review.
Thanks, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna try to see it this week.
I don't know if we'll ever actually have a spoiler.
May have to do a separate
discussion,
video.
But we may. Yeah, we can chat about it. Luke, what are your impressions?
Great time. I love the Bond franchise. I like all of the Bond movies, even Die Another Day, which is complete garbage.
That is an awful
I still have fun watching it though. This was one of my most anticipated movies back in 2020.
Yeah.
And it was the first movie to get delayed from COVID. And I was very sad. And it finally is here. And for it to live and, even exceed expectations a little bit. I was kind of nervous about this one, mainly because, Spectre was a little bit of a downgrade from Casino Royale and Skyfall.
Quantum, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, Quantum is the pinnacle of all Bond. But no, I was worried, like, is this going to be a good ending for Craig? What's his story going to be like? Especially since Bond movies usually don't have a story going throughout all of them. Usually they're not connected.
Right.
They might have, like, Jaws didn't die in one movie, so they brought him back in the next one. But he doesn't have a through line throughout the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's always Bond has a mission, yes, sex with some girl, and then he saves the day. Whereas these movies have been, here he is when he started, here he is now.
Right.
And you have character development throughout the thing.
Here are these reoccurring characters.
Yeah.
Here are this storyline that weaves its way all the way from the beginning, all the way to the end, and yeah.
It was also like this Bond is a gritty, more realistic version.
I think it's
than the past Bonds.
Yeah.
But man, I had a blast watching this. I think it's really, really good. One of my favorite movies of the year. One of my favorite Bond movies. Love it.
Yeah. I think this is probably my favorite movie of the year so far.
Oh, dang.
Yep. I'm also a big Bond fan. I think Craig's Bond has nailed the action in what I want. Like, when you think about action movies, like Mission Impossible is also like up there. You have stuff like the Jason Bourne series, which was just never quite there for me. This was like the perfected Jason Bourne.
That handheld shaky cam close up.
Yeah. And this movie goes all out on action.
It does.
It fills a lot of the movie with action, but also is like pads that runtime with a lot of good story and character work too. Mm-hmm. It is definitely a continuation. It
picks off
right where Spectre left off.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, most Bond movies haven't done that. We've gotten kind of used to that with Craig's Bond in general, because Quantum picks up right after Casino Royale.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it. I like that change of pace for Bond. I don't know if they'll continue to do that going forward or not, but I was really happy that they did it with this one, and I think that No Time to Die specifically is like the perfect capstone for Daniel Craig's James Bond.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Speaking of like the action, this movie was really violent.
Yeah,
and that was really surprising. Like, there's parts in it where like I feel like you hadn't seen that in previous movies. Maybe it was just because Cary Fukunaga is known for kind of doing dark stuff. I mean, he did True Detective.
Yeah.
But like just when Bond is just hiding behind bodies to not get shot, and it shows the bodies getting shot, it's like they don't normally do that in these. Usually it's like PG-13, but I feel like they're really pushing that rating with the violence.
Bond is often known for just like, it's a punch and he goes down, and then the henchman is just kind of gone. But no, it's like, we're gonna break some arms.
Yes.
we're gonna let you listen to that crack. We're going to it's brutal stuff, but I think
quite a bit of blood too.
I think it's a more mature Bond for a more mature
audience.
Well, not even audience. I mean, yes, an audience, but like this is an older Bond, a more mature Bond, a Bond who, in this movie, knows exactly what he wants. Craig's Bond, and much like many other Bonds, has this very weird relationship with what he wants personally and who he is as a 00 agent. And in this one, by the end, he's really solidified on. He knows what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what he needs to do to get that, and he's not gonna stop. Nothing's gonna stop him, and it's great.
Yep. What was your favorite action sequence? Because I feel like it's just chock full of them.
I was gonna say I don't know if I even remember all of them.
For me, I have two that I think stand out really, and it's the third act, mainly the stairwell oneer.
The one take
is really good.
Really good.
It reminded me a lot of Daredevil season 2. But that was just a fist fight, and there's I'm just picturing all of the planning going to this with squibs and walls blowing up and grenades going off. And what if you mess that up? Just, it would be such a nightmare to be like, we mistimed the squibs. We have to repatch the wall and start all over. And Craig is just at the bottom of the stairs, just like bleeding for real for what he's doing. I thought it was just so good. And plus, it's the third act and everything's just getting wild there.
It is. It really is.
The other one was the car chase / gunfight in the woods.
The forest
scene.
Yes.
It was kind of creepy. It was intense. There wasn't really any music.
It was a quiet fight scene. Or a quiet action scene, which was a little different. I really liked it as well.
Plus, when all the cars just shoot out of the woods, you're just like, oh no! Oh, it was great. Plus, it was really pretty with all the fog. I loved the way it looked.
Yep.
And you know who was the DP on this?
I'm not sure, actually. I didn't look that up. You'll have to.
I'll try and find
look that up for us real quick.
Because I thought this movie was really freaking pretty.
Yes. Shot gorgeously. They do a great job with locations. I appreciate it that they don't have giant title cards over every new place they go, because they do hop around quite a bit.
Yeah, they just show you a landmark.
Yeah, it's like, a landmark.
Here's the London Eye. Now we know where we are.
I'm also gonna throw out the Cuba fight scene.
Yes.
Is that the one in the trailer?
It's the one that's featured pretty heavily in the trailer.
Yeah, the Ana de Armas fight scene.
With the bridge. Where he like rolls up under the...
That's Italy.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling, there's like 5 fight scenes in this.
Maybe more.
5 action scenes, like legit, yeah, lengthy. Oh, yeah, and great conflicts, like just throughout the whole thing with how the other characters are. It's a well written film. Last week when we talked about what makes a good movie great, and I talked about setups and payoffs, like this entire series, this film is like paying off all these things that has set up over the years, but also throughout the movie.
I'm so excited. I know I haven't watched them all, but I only have 2 left to watch. And...
Linus Sandgren, La La Land, First Man,
wow.
American Hustle,
an Oscar guy.
He has got
he's got the eye. Wow, that makes me even more.
Yeah, but good action scenes. Did you have a favorite supporting character, Luke?
Favorite supporting character? You know, I liked all of them. I like all of them. So it's hard to pick. I'll tell you who I was surprised that I liked. Billy Magnusson. I saw his face and I was like, okay. I feel like I know what he's going to be. And then he was good. He played his role well.
Mm-hmm.
He was physically intimidating too. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's. I feel like he's bigger than you think he is.
Yeah.
Now maybe Craig's not.
Oh yeah.
From
yeah,
Game Night,
Yep.
the dumb guy.
That's who I thought it was, but I needed to confirm it.
Like he showed up with Felix, and I was like, really? Him? He's just gonna be a dumb character. And he was funny. He had comedic moments, but I ended up being really surprised by him.
Yeah.
I think Ana de Armas also played against what I expected her to do, where she's kind of bubbly and weird, and new in the spy world.
I've had 3 weeks of training.
3 weeks, eh? But I really enjoyed what we got from her, even though I would have liked more. I'll always love Jeffrey Wright as Felix.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Fiennes as M is always good.
I thought they did a really good job with his character. And one of the things that Craig's Bond movies have done is play with M as not necessarily just this figurehead voice of God, but make them have some stake in things.
They did it with Judi Dench.
They did it with Judi Dench, and I kind of thought maybe they were just going for like Ray Fiennes would just kind of be the voice on the other side of the comm. And they didn't. He has a very big role in this, and I was very happy with what they did with him.
They also gave Q more to do, which I really liked as well.
Yes.
Ben Whishaw is great as Q.
Is that the young kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
the tech guy.
Yeah, I just met him.
Yeah. He's. Oh
I actually love his scene.
Were you expecting an exploding pen?
There's a comment between him and Bond and Skyfall. It's like something about being youthful or whatever, and he was like,
I could do more damage than you can in my pajamas.
Yeah, he makes a comment where like, youth doesn't always create something, and then Q's like, in age doesn't always give you wisdom or something like that. Like it's just like really witty, and I'm like, man, that's actually really good.
Lashana Lynch was
the new 007.
New 007. I think they walked that line perfectly. With how they use her character. I was just worried. I mean, you never know when you talk about one of the things that I think Craig's Bond, maybe more so than others, it seems like he's like retired at the beginning of every movie. And that's maybe one trope that in this grand scheme of things,
Skyfall just gets shot.
Yeah, he gets wrecked.
The Inspector, top of Inspector.
Isn't it at the beginning of, which is the one where he like goes through the whole training montage?
That's Skyfall.
Yeah,
that's after he gets shot. He has to pass all the exams again.
That's right.
Shoot, I'm trying to remember how Spectre starts now.
I can't even remember.
I can only think.
Tyler, you should have watched this movie.
I can only think of No Time to Die.
I tried.
In any case, her being the new 007 was well handled, and they
played together great too.
They had great chemistry. Yeah, when they were together.
Just the chemistry throughout.
Interestingly, kind of the two we haven't talked about yet.
I was gonna say you haven't talked about one particular. I'm very curious about.
Leah
Seydoux
as Madeline, a returning character from Spectre. I thought she was good. Her and Daniel Craig have really good chemistry, and then Rami Malek as Safin. While watching this movie, was surprised by the how do I want to say this without saying any spoil? He's not ever present like some of the other Bond villains are.
He is more of a classic Bond villain, where there's a bad guy doing stuff, but you don't really meet him until the end.
Yeah.
Until the third act, and he kind of says, like, this is what we're trying to do here. I'm the bad guy, you're the good guy, let's fight, type thing.
Yeah.
Whereas in all the other ones, you're with the villain the entire time. Except kind of Casino Royale, where you have just like 7 villains throughout because they keep dying. But yeah, that was different. It was more of a classic feel.
Mm-hmm.
And even like his plan and the movie in general with just gadgets and like he's on an island. Like it felt like a Bond villain.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody says Bond villain, I would be like, yeah, Rami Malek fits into like something like Dr. No or Goldfinger or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I feel like they still did a good job of modernizing him.
Yeah.
For when it comes to things like motivations.
Mm-hmm.
And there is still some of that kind of classic, like, I'm going to do it because I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot more personally at stake. Am I doing it wrong, Tyler?
It's
More
Austin Powers. But
oh, I'm making a phone call.
How about no?
But yeah, no. For as big of a name and as talented as an actor as he is, I expected him to have more screen time. That said, he did great with what he was given and what he needed to do because
was commanding.
Yes, he does. He commands the screen even against someone like Daniel Craig.
Mm-hmm. He just always felt threatening just with his words.
Yeah,
which was really nice.
And a very different kind of villain from someone like Blofeld from Spectre, who Tyler doesn't really know yet. It's the Christoph Waltz character.
Ooh, that's exciting.
He was also back.
Yeah.
Literally everybody was back in this movie. It was nuts. It was like an Avengers movie. You got every character from all the Bond movies showed up, except for like Olga Kurylenko from Quantum of Solace. But
even some dead characters made appearances of sort.
Oh yeah.
Not in physical form, but they're important to the story.
Mm-hmm, yep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What other things, Luke?
A Vesper.
Well, there's a couple nods there.
I had a martini called a Vesper this week.
Ooh. Was it good?
Okay.
How many did you have?
1. So not that good.
So you didn't get that twisted? Oh, okay.
What'd you think of the score / soundtrack?
I thought it was really good. It was Hans Zimmer, which I really love Hans Zimmer, but I also kind of get nervous because sometimes he'll just be like, I need to use my old stuff.
You're not wrong.
But he worked in some really nice themes through Billie Eilish's song and the classic James Bond theme, and he weaved them together. I thought he did a really good job. Mm-hmm. Especially, oh man, it sighs sometimes. It's like, shut up. In the third act where he had the anticipation of, are we going to be able to get this done going on?
Yeah.
It's making me nervous, his music. So I liked it.
Yep. It was good stuff.
Gosh, I'm excited to watch.
We talked about cinematography. It was great.
Billy, what'd you think of the opening credits?
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I haven't liked any of the new, or I haven't disliked any of the songs or the credits.
I would agree.
Spectre. I know a lot of people
Quantum
were
of
like,
Solace.
Yeah, Quantum was great.
I think it's Alicia Keys did that one. I think
Probably.
They're all good.
Yeah.
Which is rare because in the old one, sometimes you're watching them, you're like, I don't remember what movie it is, but the Madonna song. You're watching, you're like, ugh, can I fast forward this? Don't do it. Gotta watch it because it's opening Bond credits. Also, man, people try and replicate that and they just can't. Like Deadpool did it, Black Widow did it. I know people like those, but they ain't no Bond credits. There's built different.
Any other pros? Any cons?
Let's look at my little notes here. I haven't even looked at my notes yet.
We just been talking.
You had notes?
Heck yeah, baby.
You came prepared.
It's kind of a spoiler. I thought there was one moment where Craig's Bond's character was a little out of character, where he kind of acted a bit different.
Okay.
I guess I'll have either wait if we do a spoiler discussion.
Can you tell me the part of the movie it's in?
The interrogation.
Oh. Yeah.
Just for a second.
It did feel a little bit like we need to move the plot, we need to do a thing, let's just have him do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a con, but I would have liked to have more Ana de Armara because she was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's sad because we'll probably never get more of her character, and it was a really fun character.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last con is just that people have forgotten how to watch movies. It's really... I had 2 theater experiences in a row that were just awful. Venom 2, I even moved, and this one, I couldn't move because it was busy.
It was full enough that...
The kid behind me didn't know how to eat snacks. It was just like wrapping birthday gifts or something with all the tissue paper he had. And the lady beside me had her feet up on the seats in front of her and kept whispering to the person she was sitting with. Older folks can't really whisper. So when they whisper, they go, "Oh, that's Rami Malek. He hasn't been in a movie since Slumdog Millionaire." Nope. Everything about that was wrong. Everything. Not even close.
Is that like veiled racism towards Rami Malek?
I don't know.
Is he even in that?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless I don't know something. You know what? I'm going to look it up right now.
Oh, man.
That would blow my mind if he was a Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh,
but
that's so
I know
funny.
she's thinking of Dev Patel.
Yeah.
I know she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That also being said, though, when we saw the movie together on Saturday night, one of the funniest experiences ever. There was an unexpected happening, and the nice lady in front of us was quite startled and screamed quite loudly, and I laughed, and it was amazing.
You know, yeah, she did the whole like lost control of all of her like arms and legs, like a complete like.
It was kind of like me when we saw Get Out, and they hit the deer at the beginning. And I freaked out, and the lady in front of us freaked out too. Remember that? It was like that times 10.
It was so funny. I think everyone in the general vicinity was
Laughing.
doing the little like holding it back, but
That's awesome.
it was great. Because it was early enough in the film that you weren't like annoyed by it, and it didn't happen over and over again. It was
That's super funny.
But let's see, did I have any cons? I already said it was my favorite movie of the year so far. I don't know if I have any cons. I could probably find some nitpicks if I went back and watched it for a second time. But
The second time I watched it, I noticed a lot of stuff that was just like, oh, that alludes to the end there. Oh, that's how they got that.
foreshadowing.
There's a lot of
hints
cool little
dropped.
things that they show.
Yeah.
Oh, one character we didn't talk about was the Russian scientist.
Oh yeah.
He was kind of funny.
I thought he was fine.
He's probably the least interesting character, but he served his purpose.
He did serve a purpose, and then he.
Rami Malek is not in Slumdog Millionaire.
Thank you for.
I confirmed
that.
my confirmation that I already knew. You okay, little doggy?
So we know that this is Daniel Craig's last Bond film.
Yes.
That has been very publicly stated beforehand. Do we think this did him justice? Was it a good send-off?
Yes. 100% yes.
I agree.
I agree too.
Says the guy
3 across the board.
I hasn't seen it yet, but I love it. I love the confidence you have.
I feel pretty good about going to this one. I'm not too worried. Because honestly, I don't know if... Like, of the 2.5 I've watched, I've enjoyed all of them.
I just thought of something. I'm really excited for Tyler to see. No, nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Yeah, no, I think that
Why? Why do you do that? I hate that. Now that's all I'm going to think about. What were you going to say? We're going to talk about this after this.
No, we're not.
I'm going to break your pinky toes.
Feel free to. I will. I can't tell you because then I ruin something about the movie.
I hope you stub your toe right.
I stub my toe every day on our island upstairs. It's super
good.
annoying.
I hope it hurts.
I intentionally wear shoes in the house.
I'm gonna tape Legos to the corners of the island upstairs, so you stub your toe on a Lego.
That's a lot of work. I'm impressed at your dedication.
Don't ask me to dog sit. It will happen.
Tyler's clearly a fighter.
Clearly. But yeah, no, I agree with Luke. I think that this was...
When you do what he just did, yes.
It was just a good way to send Craig for Craig's last Bond film.
Mm-hmm. It's the only one that, like we've talked about, it's the only one with a through story.
Yeah.
And to actually
complete that
story.
It pays a story off, yeah.
Whereas the other ones is just like, oh, Roger Moore is a little old now, so looks like we're gonna take a little break and cast.
You know what it makes me you know what it makes me want though? It makes me want them to like go back and like just take the next two films and give Timothy Dalton and give Pierce Brosnan
a really old Bond movie.
Like yeah, give them something to do. They won't, but like I kind of want to let them have their moment. Cuz this is definitely a homage to Daniel Craig as James Bond.
Timothy Dalton was after Roger Moore, not Pierce Brosnan. Timothy Dalton only got 2. George Lazenby only got 1.
Yeah.
His is good, dude. Dang.
Which one is he in?
It's good.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah. It is good.
Pretty sure he's Australian, too.
But yeah. Super cool. Let's give it a rating. Mine's a booyah.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's really good.
It's a really good action movie. It's a really good Bond movie. It's got story. It's got heart. It makes me sad for it to kind of be the end of this period because I think Craig's Bond tenure is my favorite. Maybe that's just because I kind of grew up with it. But I am still very excited for the future. It gives me a lot of faith going forward in the Bond franchise, knowing what they can do.
I would agree. Craig is my favorite Bond. His movies are just better. He's a great Bond too. Like the older ones, like the Connery ones, you'd watch one and be like, "Wow, that's really good." You watch the next one and be like, "That was okay." Watch the next one and be like, "Oh, that was good. This might be one of the best." Watch the next one, and be like, "Oh."
Very
a lot of hit or miss. Is also just they're older. Like if you watch Dr. No, it does that thing in old movies where every step they take you can hear it. It sounds like they're walking on a bunch of pebbles. Just a weird thing. Yeah. From that era.
Because rooms.
Yeah. They would mic movies differently. And they didn't do ADR. No.
Yep, they did a good job evolving Bond for the times.
It's crazy though. Like you finish Roger Moore's era, which is fairly similar to the Sean Connery era. Just, they've improved the action. And then you hit Timothy Dalton's, and they're just like guns blazing, going nuts. And you're like, what? I mean, I think though, there's so many fun transitions. Like Goldfinger is considered one of the best Bond movies. It is one of the best Bond movies. And you watch the first two, and the action's okay. And then Goldfinger starts off, and like Sean Connery's just like throwing these hard punches at people. You're like, this is different. It's looking like they're leaning a bit more into the action.
Getting a little more violent.
Yeah. The pun game was also back in this one.
Yes.
Bond's always had some great puns. That was back in this one. Got some good ones in there.
Yep. Yeah, I think they did a good job of not being so
punny.
They don't overdo it.
Like the old
ones. Or, There's some other franchises these days that make you have to have a joke after every thing, and you can't have a serious conversation without sliding something in to make sure people laugh.
Yep.
I wonder what you're talking about there.
I won't name names, Marvel. What? All right. We both highly recommend it. Clearly, if you can get out to a theater to see it and feel safe about that, do it.
Indeed.
Do it.